Now that you have a quick basic overview of how screen printing works, let's delve into the artwork side of it. To start artwork, we're going to talk about the different types of images you see or will be printing later on. First, let's show shirt examples. Now the first basic type of image is called a spot color image. A spot color image doesn't have any shading or fading in it. It's just a one blanket spot of ink. So this is a basic two-color spot color image. You don't see any shading or fading in it. It has some distressed marks in it, but that doesn't have any shades to it. It's just a distressed mark. Now the most popular type of a spot color image is just going to be one or two colors, like the X on Sucks shirt here. Shirts like this for company logos, baseball teams, sports teams are going to have a lot of popularity with screen printing, and this is going to be the majority. I would say probably 75% of most people's business is simple spot color work like this. Once again, both sides of this shirt, there's no contrast, there's no shading in it. Now a spot color job, as you saw in the first one, isn't always just one color. It could be multiple colors. So here's an example of a multiple color spot color image. Now this has 3 or 4 colors in it, but there's still no shading. You see some gray, but it's a spot of gray. It's a solid color of gray. Once again, this a spot color job. Now the next type of image we're going to talk about is a gradient image. Now a gradient image has that contrast, it has that shading in it. This is a simple one color gradient image, and you can see the contrast, you can see the shading and the detail in the image. We'll talk about how to create this detail later and the tools necessary to achieve this, but this is a one color gradient image. Now a two color gradient image is going to be something like this. Once again, you see the gradient in the shadowing of the text and in the Ryonet logo, but it's just a simple two color. Not a spot. There's some spot to it. The red Ryonet is a spot, but the surrounding part is a gradient image. Now the next type of images are going to be full color images, and there's two different types of full color images. There's called 4-color process and there's simulated process. Let's discuss 4-color process first. 4-color process is printing cyan, magenta, yellow, and black ink the exact same way your computer printer prints it at home. Your computer printer doesn't have 20 different colors of ink in it. It has, 4 cartridges, most of the time. So this is a Cmyk image. It's a full color image, but only using 4 colors of ink on the screen printing press. Cmyk images are typically printed on light garments, and obviously they do have the fine detail and they do have the shading. So this is not a spot color image, this is a gradient image, but is a full color, 4-color process image. Here's another example of a 4-color process image, just a little bit different here. It's a movie poster. And then finally, my personal favorite is simulated process, probably one of the most complex types of screen prints done on textile. Simulated process is a gradient image as well, as you can see, but it uses the full color of ink instead of using cyan, magenta, yellow, and black mixed together to create like a red or a maroon. You actually are going to print with that yellow, that red, that white needed to create the image. Now simulated process can go on light or darks. As you see it is on a dark, but we get extreme detail and vibrance in the image. We'll also show how to create this later. In order to screen print artwork, you first have to color separate it. You color separate it because you only print one color per screen. So for instance, with this shirt right here, we have to take the image and we have to take the yellow, we have to take the gray, we have to take the white and the black out of the image before we can screen print it. Because when we burn the screen, we're only going to put one screen for the yellow, one screen for the gray, one screen for the white, and so on. So right now we're going to discuss the different types of artwork programs you can use to color separate, and a little bit about those artwork programs and how you can set up and design your artwork as well. In the world of screen printing, there are 3 main artwork programs people use. First is CorelDRAW, then we have Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. Out of those 3 programs, I would say the most popular are CorelDRAW and Photoshop. Each of these artwork programs vary a little bit. So in this DVD we're going to discuss Photoshop and CorelDRAW and show you the advantages to each program and how you can use it for your business.